The River That Leads to Life. Welcome to Pouquette's story collection, where the real world fades and the story begins. Today's story is one you may want to return to, so if you'd like a safe place to come back to whenever life feels heavy, go ahead and subscribe now. That way, you'll always find your way back to the next chapter. Now, settle in, let your breath soften, and let the story begin. The River That Leads to Life. She didn't remember falling asleep. There was no drifting, no fading, no gentle slide into dreams. It was more like stepping through a doorway she didn't know was there. One moment she was in her room, and the next she was standing in the middle of a vast, overgrown world that didn't look like anything she had ever seen. Moonlight spilled across cracked pavement. Vines curled up the sides of abandoned buildings. Windows stared back at her like hollow eyes. The air felt thick, unmoving, as if the world itself were holding its breath. She turned slowly, trying to understand where she was. Her heartbeat thudded in her ears. Her breath came shallow. Her hands hovered uncertainly at her sides. She took a step forward. The sound of her own footstep echoed too loudly, as if the world had forgotten what sound was. She tried another direction, then another. Every path looked the same, overgrown, silent, endless. She walked faster, then slower, then stopped altogether. Nothing changed. The world didn't respond, didn't shift, didn't offer a clue. She whispered, "Hello?" But her voice sounded small, swallowed instantly by the stillness. She wasn't just lost. She was searching for anything familiar, anything human, anything alive. She spun around again, scanning the shadows, hoping for a sign, a sound, a direction, a reason, and then a voice, soft, familiar, warm. "Sweetheart." She froze. Her breath caught. Her eyes widened. Her heart stilled. She turned slowly, and there he was, her dad, standing a few steps behind her, hands in his pockets, smiling the way he used to when she was little and scared of thunderstorms. She didn't move, couldn't move. He looked exactly as she remembered, gentle eyes, warm presence, the kind of calm that made the world feel safe. He nodded toward the distance. "Look for the water," he said softly. "The water will lead to life." She swallowed hard. Her voice trembled when she spoke. "Dad, everything is overgrown. I can't see anything." He stepped closer, his expression patient, loving. "Then don't look," he said. "Come down here. Listen." He knelt and tapped the ground beside him. She hesitated, not because she didn't trust him, but because the moment felt fragile, like one wrong move might break it. But she lowered herself anyway, knees to the earth, hands pressed into the cool dirt. "Put your ear down," he whispered. She leaned forward, pressed her ear to the ground, closed her eyes. And there it was, a faint sound, soft, steady, alive. Water. Her breath hitched, her eyes flew open. "I hear it," she whispered. Her dad smiled. "That's my girl." She stood quickly, hope rising in her chest. "Come on," she said, turning toward him. "Let's go find it." He nodded. "I'm right here." The search. She walked toward the sound, her dad's footsteps soft behind her. The ruins shifted around them, archways cracked by time, staircases swallowed by vines, courtyards glowing faintly under moonlight. She kept talking as she walked, her voice trembling with relief. "I thought I was alone. I didn't know where to go. I couldn't find anything." Her dad listened quietly, the way he always had. Every few steps, she paused, tilted her head, listened again. The sound of water grew clearer, closer, warmer. She smiled through tears she didn't realize she was shedding. "Dad, I think I'm getting closer." "You are," he said softly. "You're doing just fine." She kept walking, following the sound through the ruins, through the silence, through the strange, dreamlike world. And then the trees parted.
The river, she gasped,
A river wound through the ruins like a silver ribbon, glowing faintly under a pale, dreamlike moon. The water shimmered as if lit from within, each ripple catching the light and turning it into something soft and alive. She ran forward, laughing through tears. "I found it, Dad, I—" She turned around. He was gone. The space where he stood was empty, silent, still. Her breath broke, her knees buckled. She sank to the ground, hands covering her face, as sobs shook through her. "Dad, please." But the world didn't answer. Only the river moved, soft and warm and alive. She crawled to the edge, dipped her fingers into the water. It was warm, warm like a memory, warm like a hand she could no longer hold. She cried until her body had nothing left to give. Then she closed her eyes, letting the warmth settle into her chest. The awakening. The warmth faded, the river dimmed, the ruins blurred like mist dissolving in morning light. She opened her eyes, and she was back in her bed. The city hummed outside her window. Cars, voices, life rushing forward without pause. She blinked, tears still on her cheeks. Her father was gone, truly gone, not waiting for her, not walking beside her, not coming back. It had all been a dream, a world built from memory, from longing, from the quiet parts of her heart that still missed him every day. But the river, the warmth, the sound of his voice, those were real. She could feel them even now, flowing quietly beneath the noise of her waking life. And she understood. Whenever the world felt too fast, too loud, too heavy, she could close her eyes and return to the silence, to the warmth, to the river that led her back to life. Outro. Personal note. Before you drift off today, I want to share something quietly honest about this story. It wasn't just a dream in the story. It was an actual dream I had. I lost my dad a year ago, and this dream was the closest I've felt to him since. Telling it here felt like the gentlest way I could honor his memory, a way to let him live in a place made of warmth, of rivers that lead back to life, of moments where love finds its way through the quiet. If this story brought you comfort or helped you feel a little less alone in your own memories, I'd love to know. Creating this was healing for me, and sharing it with you feels like keeping a small light alive, where the real world fades and the story begins again.